You know, sometimes the most chilling stories aren't the ones told around a campfire. They're the ones that unfold in real life. And today, we're diving into one of the most controversial cases in recent memory. The story of Amanda Knox, a young woman who found herself in the center of a murder investigation that gripped the world. It all started in the fall of 2007. Amanda Knox, a bright-eyed 20-year-old from Seattle, packed her bags and flew to Perugia, Italy, for a study abroad experience. Perugia, a picturesque university town with cobblestone streets and historic charm, seemed like the perfect place to spend a semester. She quickly moved into a quaint cottage on Via della Pergola, shared with 3 other young women, 2 Italian roommates and a 21-year-old British student named Meredith Kercher. Meredith was described as kind, vibrant, and full of life. She was studying European politics and spoke multiple languages fluently. Despite their cultural differences, Amanda and Meredith seemed to get along well. Amanda, often described as quirky and free-spirited, worked part-time at a local bar to earn extra cash. Her relationship with an Italian student named Raffaele Solicito also blossomed. They had only been dating for a week, but in Amanda's eyes, it was a whirlwind romance. Life in Italy seemed like a dream, but that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. November 1st, 2007. It was the day after Halloween. Amanda had spent the night at Raffaele's apartment. The next morning, she returned to the cottage, and that's when things started to feel off. The front door was ajar. Now, some might call the police immediately, but Amanda didn't. The house was a student rental. Doors left unlocked weren't exactly rare. But as she walked inside, Amanda noticed strange things. A few droplets of blood in the bathroom, a smudge near the sink, and yet nothing seemed particularly alarming. Then she discovered a toilet that hadn't been flushed. Gross, sure, but still nothing that screamed danger. It wasn't until Meredith's bedroom door wouldn't open that panic set in. Amanda and Raphael knocked and called Meredith's name. No response. They noticed the door was locked, unusual, since Meredith rarely did that. That's when they called the police. What the officers found behind that door would shock the world. Inside Meredith's room was a scene of horror. Her body lay partially covered by a duvet, blood pooled beneath her. She had been brutally stabbed, and investigators quickly determined the attack was personal. But there was something else strange about the scene. The window in Meredith's room was shattered, suggesting a break-in, yet nothing of value seemed stolen. Police began to question whether the burglary had been staged, a distraction from the true crime. Amanda and Raphael were brought in for questioning. Initially, they were considered witnesses, not suspects. But it wasn't long before the police began to poke holes in their stories. And before we move on, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think happened? Was this a staged burglary, or something far more calculated? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I always enjoy reading your theories. The Italian authorities were under pressure. Perugia, a peaceful university town, wasn't used to crimes like this. The media had already caught wind of the tragedy, and the public demanded answers. During questioning, Amanda's behavior started to raise eyebrows. She was seen laughing, doing yoga, and appearing too comfortable at the police station. But was that truly evidence of guilt, or just a coping mechanism? Then came the bombshell. Under intense interrogation, Amanda signed a confession implicating herself and her boss, Patrick Lumumba, in the murder. But here's the thing. That confession was later retracted. Amanda claimed she had been coerced and manipulated after hours of aggressive questioning. The police weren't convinced. They arrested Amanda, Raphael, and Patrick Lumumba. Lumumba, however, had a solid alibi and was released. But the damage was done. The media frenzy had begun. Just when it seemed like the case was solved, a new name entered the picture. Rudy Guede. Guede, an Ivorian man with a criminal past, had fled to Germany shortly after Meredith's murder. When his DNA was found on Meredith's body and belongings, the case took a dramatic turn. Unlike Amanda and Raffaele, Gaedy's connection to the scene was undeniable. He admitted to being in the house, but claimed Meredith was alive when he left. Prosecutors, however, saw him as part of a twisted, drug-fueled attack carried out with Amanda and Raffaele. But was there enough evidence to support that theory? The trials would decide. In 2009, Amanda and Raffaele were found guilty of Meredith's murder. Amanda was sentenced to 26 years in prison, and Raffaele received 25 years. Guade, who opted for a fast-track trial, was sentenced to 30 years, later reduced to 16. The trials became a media spectacle. Tabloids painted Amanda as a cold-blooded killer, dubbing her Foxy Knoxy. The prosecution's theory? A bizarre sexual game gone wrong. Despite the lack of hard evidence tying Amanda to the murder, the court believed the narrative. But Amanda and Raffaele maintained their innocence, and their families fought tirelessly to appeal the convictions. In 2011, after serving 4 years, Amanda and Raffaele's convictions were overturned on appeal. The court cited a lack of evidence and faulty forensic procedures. DNA evidence, once considered damning, was now deemed unreliable. Amanda returned home to Seattle. But her legal battle wasn't over. In 2014, Italy's Supreme Court reinstated the guilty verdicts, only to overturn them again in 2015. Finally, Amanda was free. So, what do you think? After years of conflicting verdicts, overturned convictions, and global debates, Amanda Knox was eventually acquitted. But the question remains, did the justice system get it right? If you found this case as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more true crime deep dives. And let me know in the comments. Was Amanda Knox innocent? Or was justice denied for Meredith Kercher? Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.